Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of the Monolio Re-Bik series.
In the Monolio Re-Bik series, Mono Mukundu takes a few classic Zimbabwean old-school songs and adds his own production interpretation after removing all the instrumentation using the newest AI software. He also provides background information on the artist. In the process, he hopes to bring new audiences to the works of these artists and pay tribute to their memory.
Today, the man I'm going to be talking about is somebody who contributed a lot to the Zimbabwe music industry, to the Zimbabwe film industry, to the Zimbabwe comedy industry, as well as the Zimbabwe theater industry. Being related to somebody famous is sometimes a disadvantage because people always compare you to your father or to your sister or to your brother who started before you. And at times they overlook your contributions, then they overlook your talent. But this person is somebody who everybody agrees that is very talented. And he is none other than Elijah Madzikatire. Of course, he is the son to Safiro Madzikatire, otherwise known as Mkadota, who is one of our most celebrated comedians who contributed a lot to the music industry and to the comedy industry in Zimbabwe. So on Tuesday, July 9th, 2024, I visited Mkoma Elijah and we sat down for 4 hours. We were just relaxing, but at the same time, I'll be taking notes and this way I don't go document everything. So this is the information that I'm going to give you today. So Elijah Madzikatire was born on a Saturday, the 8th of November, 1952. At Harare General Hospital, that hospital that is better known as Kugomo. So his mother was Tongasi Madzikatire, and there were 3 children in their family. And Elijah is the first one, born in 1952. His brother Rufus was born in 1954, and lastly, his sister Nancy was born in 1956. During the 60s and the 70s, they had a different system from the system that we use today. Those days, they started with sub A, which was what we call grade 1 today. So for his sub A, he completed it during the time when they were what used to be called the hall system, where the kids would put in a big hall and this teacher will be on his corner with his class, and that teacher will be on her corner with her class. There will be about 3 or 4 classes in one single hall. So from sub B to standard 6, he went to Narira Primary School in Bhero. Then for his secondary school, he went to St. Peter's Claver, it's also in Bhero. Mkoma Elijah was telling me that he has got a burden to do something for the schools that he went to. We hope that dream will come to fruition. So by the time he was in what we call Form 3 these days, he was already in his father's band. His grandmother was very pivotal in his raising, and she passed away just as he was about to write his exams. So he had a choice between attending the funeral and attending the exams, and he decided to go to the funeral. But I'm sure that at the back of his mind, I'm now a musician. He has got 5 children. The first one is Brenda, followed by Solomon, otherwise known as Guku. Then there's Nancy. You remember he also has a sister called Nancy. And then the next one is Tongasi, and I'm sure you remember that his mother's name was also Tongasi. And the last born is Elijah Jr. He's now based in the USA. And he currently has 8 grandchildren, and I'm sure he's still counting. Around the age 18 and 19, he started working for his father as a doorman. There are 2 band members in his father's band. One of them was Adam Maliko, and he has forgotten the name of the second one. So Adam Maliko was the first one to teach Elijah how to play the guitar until he could even play the lead guitar. So one day they were playing in Mfakose, and Adam Maliko attended a wedding in Zimba. He had not told his boss that he's going out of Harare. He got stuck in traffic and failed to come for the show. And then someone said, just call Elijah. He can come and play the guitar. And his father said, what? Elijah? When did he start playing the guitar? Elijah was called So he came on stage, started playing. He was very nervous, but he performed very well, and his father got the shock of his life. He was shocked, dude. So on Monday, Adam Maliko came, his remuneration, his pay, and he was fired on the spot after getting his pay for missing the route on the whole show. But Safiro Madzikatire was very strict. You had to be dressed very well, you had to be on time, no drinking on stage, you were not allowed to date each other. So those were some of the laws in Safiro's bands, and Safiro did not care how good you are. If you mess up his rules, you'll be fired. So that's how Adam Maliko was fired. So soon after Adam Maliko was fired, Elijah took his place, he took his teacher's place, so he became the guitarist. That's how he joined the band. It all started early 80s, I think around 1980 or 1981, 82, somewhere there. There was a film that was sponsored by the Ministry of Information, which was called Ben's Kitchen. Elijah Madzikatire was part of the film. Jethro Shasha, the drummer, was part of the film. And Jethro Shasha was the main actor. And Elijah was acting a character called Bhero. He acted the character so well until the directors of the film decided to change the name of the film to Bhero the Bird. You remember those days in the 80s, the Ministry of Information would travel around the country showing films like Vana Tiki, Vana Chichi. So that film was also shown around Zimbabwe. As a result, people started calling him Bhero. That's how he got the name, and that's how the name started. If you look at Zimbabwe's music history, Zimbabwe is a country that had what I call cover band syndrome, where you just depend on covering other artists' music, and usually they used to cover foreign music, what we call in Zimbabwe copyrights, but the correct term is cover versions. So we had very few bands that would record. In the mid-70s, we started having artists like Zexi Manatsa, Oliver Mtukudzi, Thomas Mapfumo, Tutankhamen Band. There was a movement of recording local Zimbabwean music. Both artists like Zexi Manatsa, Thomas Mapfumo and Oliver Mtukudzi started asking themselves questions, but why are we depending on playing foreign music? Can't we create our own music? So that's how they started creating Bhero-based music, something that was very Zimbabwean. So I really would like to salute those guys for creating that sound. And to the youngsters who keep on saying, hey, do we have a genre in Zimbabwe? That's our genre. Listen to Thomas Mapfumo, listen to Zexi Manatsa, listen to Oliver Mtukudzi, listen to Elijah Madzikatire, listen to Tutankhamen Band. So I'm asking or appealing to the young generation to use that as your foundation if you want to create our own digital sound. But it doesn't mean we have to do away with the organic sound. We still love it. You can have the organic sound just like Jamaica, Virginia Roots Reggae, and they've got the digital sound which is done so. So I'm just encouraging the youngsters to use those icons as your foundation to create something new. You never beat one. So back to Elijah. He teamed up with his father's band members, and they recorded this song called Ishe. And the song was a massive hit, and it sold over 50,000 copies, which qualified it to be certified gold. And the song became a huge hit. So what started happening is during shows, remember he was now the lead guitarist after replacing Adam Maliko, his teacher. Every time he would play, the crowd would start complaining to go to the microphone and sing your songs. Because after recording Ishe, he had recorded other several songs, so he had quite a catalog, which was enough for him to have his own set. But he was just concentrating on the guitar, and the crowd were not having it. His father is the one who came up with the idea of moving him from the guitar and have him have his own set. In the 80s, his song Karate was very huge in Mozambique, to the extent that the Mozambican government invited Elijah to perform in Mozambique. The other time I was speaking to Jimmy Lulu, he's from Mozambique, So he was telling me, I grew up listening to Zimbabwean music a lot, and one song that I really loved is a song called Karate by Elijah Madzikatire. I was surprised. That was the first time that I heard the story. So they were invited to play in Mozambique, and they played in Mozambique to full stadiums. There is a Mozambican artist who was very much influenced by Mkoma Elijah. He also started performing Mkoma Elijah's songs. He was sort of like the Elijah Madzikatire of Mozambique, and he became very famous and rich. And the other time he came to Zimbabwe to pay tribute to thank Mkoma Elijah. Thanks a lot, your career has opened doors for me. And he left him some money. He says akapiwa a huge chunk of money, and he bought himself a car. We've got a lot of people who are ashamed of acknowledging people who help them. Even if you mention guitar na mono, there's nothing like that, guys. You have to have somebody. Even 2-3 chords is your teacher. Even my teacher, I always talk about him. He just taught me 3 chords, a song called Jai Hear My Play. But I have to give him his credit, because that's not just got those 3 chords, I wouldn't be here. So let's learn to give credit. Another trivia that I would like to share is there is a time when Ocean City Band, which was part of the Mkaduta family, they revolted and left the band without notice, and they had shows lined up, and so Mdara Safirio was planning to cancel all the shows, and Elijah said, wait Mdara, give me some time bichana. He drove his car to Mfakose. He went to Tobias Areketa, and what had happened is coincidentally Tobias Areketa and his whole team were part of Susan Mapfuma in the Boogaloos, and they had also boycotted and left the band, so they were starting something of their own. So Elijah came and said, you know what guys, we've got a crisis, we need your help. If you could just help us for these gigs. And they explained the situation. So everybody came. On the same day, they started racing Elijah's set, and they were done with the set. And one thing that helped is there was a guy called Leo. He was also a guitarist. He had not left the band. He had not joined the revolt. So it was easy for him to tip the guys on how to play Elijah's music. So by the time Elijah got back home in the evening, he told Mdara, you know what, I found a band, we've already rehearsed my set. So what's left is for us to rehearse your set. And tomorrow, the following day, they went and rehearsed Mdara's set. The girls were there, they had not left, and Mdara was very happy. So when they had their first show with the new band, it was in Bhero. A lot of journalists came, they were expecting to see disaster. But disaster did not happen, everything went well. All of Safirio Madzikatire's band, the Ocean City Band, the Sea Cottage Sisters, the Brave Sun, all of those names were names of horses, because he was into horse betting. As far as Mabisa, so I must have my band S. I must have my Bisa. That's a very interesting trivia. So this song was inspired by his Sekuru, his mother's sister. His name was Murombo, and they used to live in Bhero. So every time Mkoma Elijah visited his grandmother, he always find her crying. Murumba andinetsa panapa, Murumba azodai, Murumba ita izvi, Murumba ita icho, Murumbo asungwa. They even tried to help him and give him work at the band, like being a doorman, but it did not help anything. Murumba angasingabatsiriki. Unozoti help inopiwa igoshanda kune munhu ari kuida. Kana munhu asingaidi, you can help all you want, nothing will happen. So Mkoma Elijah was thinking of writing a song, but Vana Tinogumbura, and we are Gumbura mbuya zvishua. And then he decided to write the song Vana Tinogumbura, and he recorded the song somewhere in the 80s. Mkoma Elijah says he's not very good with the dates, so I'm not sure which date the song was released. The song was released, it was a huge hit. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the song that I'm going to Re-bik'd. And I would like to thank Mkoma Elijah for the time he gave me, for the information he gave me, for the permission he gave me to Re-bik'd his song. So let's go to
Shimera misotsi Vana Tinogumbura Iye wamaida Wamaishimera misotsi Wamaishaira hope Vana Tinogumbura Ona ari kutongwa nenyaya yokupa yekubaza zvitoro Vana Tinogumbura Nasi iri kutongwa nenyaya yokuponda kutema vanhu nedemo Vana Tinogumbura mwana wangu Vana Tinogumbura kubereka kunozorwadza Vana Tinogumbura iga my way mwana wangu Vana Tinogumbura iga my way mwana wangu Vana Tinogumbura naye amai zvino mwana wenyu kana asvika kura muchada kuti azoita chii chiremba nesi doctor teacher here amen avana vangu pashanu ava kana mumwe chete zvake nesi Vana Tinogumbura pavana vangu 10 ava nyangwe mumwe chete zvake teacher Vana Tinogumbura moyo unotsemuka ura unorwadza kubereka kwakaoma kare Vana Tinogumbura mwana wangu ex-killer Vana Tinogumbura shumo dzinondibaya Vana Tinogumbura
Let everything that has sound be